welcome back. You're about to really hate me for what I did to the Camaro. Why don't we take a look? Alright, before you start thrashing me out in the comments, I know this thing looks absolutely hideous, but in my defense, I have bought stuff to lower this car. I bought leaf springs for the back. I have coil springs and I'm going to order tonight. And what I'm trying to do is I got a low profile tire so I can lower it so it doesn't look like a dump truck when I'm going around the autocross. I'm just doing this for autocross, so when I go back to drag racing, it will look totally different. I might even have to raise it back up. But we bought Hoosier tires because that's what we had been running the previous 2 years, so we did the autocross just so we could stick to the same thing. I even might paint the lettering on the tires so they look kind of similar. But I know this thing looks hideous and it's probably going to look hideous until we're done. But I'm going to try to make it look better. But anyway, to do that, we're going to start pulling the rear end and stuff out of this. I have to shim the rear end because back a year or two ago when we shimmed it last time, it was not right and it makes a lot of noise. So we're going to fix that. Put new lug nut studs in the back axles. First thing we got to do is we got to take the rear end out. We got to pull the gas tank out, all that jazz, and get everything pulled out of this thing and get it underway for autocross for 2025 defending autocross champion of the Street Rod Nationals. So let's get to go. All right guys, the first thing we're going to start on is our gas tank, but we have to open our anti-theft deck lid. Ta-da! Alright, we're going to try to disconnect our gas tank first. That being said, this is going to be the first thing we take off. And lose all the bolts in the process. There's a access hole behind the license plate to get to the fuel neck. We're gonna have to take off now. Some GM designer designed that. Great design, right? Man, you can get right to it now. We're going to go ahead and jack this thing up and go ahead and get underneath of it. We're going to disconnect the fuel line. Once we get the fuel lines disconnected, then we're probably going to be able to drop the tank out. I'm going to have to drop the tank out to disconnect the fuel neck because the fuel neck has no movement. Once we get this jacked up, we'll drop the tank out. These straps are always fun to take off for these bumper brackets. They hit on the brackets and they don't want to come off. Kind of like that. Hopefully this isn't very heavy because I don't know if I can do this by myself, but the good news is there's only less than a quarter tank. Now we should be able to drop it on my head. Ta-da! Now if we don't dump all the gas out, would be great. Ta-da! Dang guys, we could probably have the rear end out of this thing tonight if we get after it. Alright, let's go ahead and pop these shocks off. We're actually not going to use these shocks this year on the autocross. We're actually going to buy some QA1 double adjustable shocks for the autocross / for when we do drag racing, so we can actually adjust it and keep the car from bouncing and whatnot. It'll be a major upgrade. Oh yeah, right down behind the seat. Perfect spot. Alright, let's drop this rear end out of here. That felt good. Now we don't have to do anything with the shackles. All we got to do is change the leaf spring. That's what we're trying to currently do, sort of, change the leaf springs. Now we got to take the pucks on the front loose. It's gonna be fun. So these should be pretty easy to take out. These are just bolts. Then there's clips up inside the actual unibody of the Camaro, so you don't have to put a wrench on them or anything. That was easy enough. Now one more side, we'll be ready to drop this rear end out of here. Alright, that's the last bolt on the puck. Now let's drop this bad boy on the ground. Hopefully. Now we can just get it out from underneath the car. Oh. It might help if the brake line wasn't still hooked up. Oops. Damn, that sucks. Now we have to bleed the brakes. See how easy it is when everything's disconnected? It just comes right out. Ta-da! Holy balls, or air ball, whatever they say.